Ford Field in Detroit, Michigan has played host to the NFL Super Bowl. Now it's the superstars in the AMP Mobile Supercross Series. There's no bigger or brighter name in the sport than the monster-backed Kawasaki factory rider, James Stewart.
Let's take a look at the Supercross track built inside here of Ford Field. First turn area here, almost a 180. It'll be interesting there off the starts. Come around, this is gonna be the first triple jump the riders see into a couple of rollers. Then you'll notice right over here, it says there's a sand section. Actually, that's gonna be 9 jumps in a row now. They changed up the design a little bit. Rider's gonna be taking that 3-3-3, maybe even jumping 4 in there. Over the next triple, a couple more on-offs, and as we head into the whoop section, right here, it's got a tabletop in the middle that's gonna mix it up a little bit. One of the most challenging things is gonna be the soil here tonight. It's hard on bottom with a lot of loose stuff on top. And that is the track in Ford Field.
All right, Jeff, thank you very much. Should be a great racetrack here in Detroit. Let's head down to Aaron Bates for Progressive Direct pre-race report.
Detroit's very own Ford Field is home to the 2006 Super Bowl, but it's home to the second annual Supercross here. But it brings in a lot of heritage, and the reason being is because for the last 30 years, this dirt here has been brought in from the Pontiac Silverdome, but sifted through each and every year. Some more rocks are taken out to sculpt this track to perfection. Maybe a new venue for some, but it's familiar ground to others.
The last round of AMP Mobile Supercross competition took place 2 weeks ago. Texas Stadium, Dallas, Texas. The winner in the Lone Star State, well, once again, it was hole number 7, James Stewart, winning his 4th race in a row. Welcome back to Detroit, Michigan. Everybody wondering if that winning streak will continue. Ralph Shaheen alongside Jeff Emig and Aaron Bates here with us tonight as we get set for heat number 2. Now, earlier we asked you who won the first ever Supercross that took place in the Detroit area. Was it the old Pontiac Silverdome? The answer? Marty Smith, back in March of 1976. This is a huge sports town, and obviously Supercross a fan favorite in this part of the country. Here's our Thor up close as we get set for heat number 2. It'll be 8 laps, 20 riders. Once again, top 9 advancing to the main event. Let's show you the highlights now of heat number 2. "30-second board leaves the start area. We're set to go with heat 2. Chad Reed gets another hole shot. He has been so good with those as of late.
He has been a great starter in the main events. He's taken almost half of them. Got one here in this heat race.
He's also got James Stewart right on his tail.
Most of the time, we don't get to see these guys race head-to-head except in the main event. But we got a heat race here. Fireworks already going on.
For Reed, that's his 7th hole shot of the season as Stewart takes the lead away. That didn't take long.
And Stewart is on fire. He's just, from the drop to the gate, he comes with so much energy. Just his aggression is just undeniable.
Davey coming on strong on that red Honda. Inside. Good enough for the position? Not yet. Over the tabletop.
Still working on him. There he is.
As he now wins his 15th heat race of the 2007 season. So who's going to get that final transfer spot? Here they come, battling for the final position. Number 35 is Josh Demuth. Is he going to get it? He's got chasing him Kevin Johnson.
I think he's got a pretty good gap on Johnson. He was pretty close there over that last triple, and then Johnson must have made a little mistake. Demuth's got a nice, comfortable qualifying position.
Eric Sorby's going to finish just in front of him, and Demuth will get that final spot out of the heat. Here's a look at the results out of heat number 2. James Stewart picking up another heat win. And after the race, here's what he had to say about it.
I think I just attacked the track a little bit harder. Track's really slippery, so we got to be careful, but I just feel like, after those 2-week breaks, I think I was the only person to come out still the same. I think everybody's a little rusty, and we're all a little bit rusty. So we'll see what happens to the 20-lap main and have fun at it.
When we come back to Ford Field, we'll take an up-close look at Chad Reed and Team San Manuel Yamaha. Pit party and the fans here in Detroit had a lot of fun earlier today, enjoying the sunshine. Here's a look at the results on our Yamaha Last Chance Qualifier results page. David Dellerman and Robbie Reynard will join the other 18 riders in our main event. Chad Reed has already qualified for the main, riding on the Team San Manuel Yamaha. We took a look up close at Chad Reed, Nathan Ramsey, and the Team San Manuel Yamaha.
We had an idea of building a private team, and I wanted it to be the best team out there. So we approached San Manuel.
The main reason we got involved was getting our kids focused on something positive.
What they wanted to do was advertise their tribe. The San Manuel way is more or less, you live the life to your fullest, give 100% no matter what you do. And if you live your life that way, you're going to be the best.
We want kids to understand they can reach those goals and those achievements, by getting involved in sports and having someone to look up to, a role model.
In Mission Indians, it's really changed the face of the way sponsors have came in. There's no product.
It's fun to work with, a sponsor that doesn't just, throw a boatload of money at a company and then basically want some free tickets to the event.
San Manuel's always had a tradition of getting involved with our community.
It's like a kind of a big family, and they've really embraced us and made us feel good, and really want to just reach out and, get the young people to have something to kind of look forward to and be passionate about. I mean, I know when I was a kid, being so passionate about, racing motorcycles kept me out of a lot of trouble and kind of gave me a direction and gave me a work ethic.
The good thing is, that Nathan and Chad are sort of the icons for the tribe and for their kids, and they understand Chad and Nathan's way of life, and they understand if they want to be good at something that they have to give 100%. So, it was a perfect match for us.
The Australian Chad Reed, the thunder from down under when it comes to Supercross. You can take a look at his career stats, and they are certainly impressive with 26 AMA wins, 20 straight AMA Supercross podiums, and of course Chad winning the 2004 AMA Supercross Championship. When we come back, we'll see if Chad can get another victory as we drop the gate on the main when we come back to Detroit. That's the view inside Ford Field here in Detroit, Michigan, right in the heart of downtown Detroit. Take a look at the Supercross point standings. The Toyota truck standings look like this. James Stewart, 29 in front of Chad Reed when you talk about the Amp Mobile World GP point standings. For the AMA Championship, something James has never won, he is the reigning world champion. He's 35 in front of Chad Reed. Here's Aaron Bates with a Progressive Direct pre-race report.
After 13 weeks of solid racing, it was a well-deserved 2-week break for all of these riders. Most of them had some time to do some outdoor testing, while others, it gave them time to heal up some lingering injuries. Kevin Windham, for instance, in Dallas, he had torn 2 ligaments in his right hand in his heat race, and he had 2 weeks to do some therapy and some recuperation, rehabilitation on his hand to get him ready for tonight's race here in Detroit.
Here's a look at the Honda starting grid. Of course, all those right names are in here, Jeff. No big surprises there, but the big question really is, have you seen anybody tonight that you think can run Stewart's pace?
Well, maybe not run Stewart's pace, but I'm really excited tonight to see Andrew Short and Davey Millsaps. Some of these guys really come on strong and put in some good rides. And, of course, the number 26, Michael Byrne, I think, is definitely due for a good top 5.
He's got the onboard camera for us on top of his helmet on his Rockstar Suzuki as he looks down that straightaway towards the very tight turn number 1.
Got the number 7 right there to his left side. And one thing about this start here, you guys take a look at, is the inside pinches off pretty hard. So a couple gates from the inside of the box is the best place to start. We'll see how it turns out.
Well, it got real tight, but everybody got through cleanly, and James Stewart gets the hole shot, only his second hole shot of the season.
And that's what he's done so many times. If he doesn't get to the first turn first, he always comes through on the inside and sneaks around and grabs that start.
It's hard to believe, as good a rider as James is, he's only had 2 hole shots this entire year.
Well, he's so fast, he doesn't really need a hole shot to win. He's seen in Indianapolis when he started dead last, took the lead with only a couple laps to go. That was one of the more impressive rides. James is dialed in here tonight. So if he keeps it on 2 wheels, he's going to stretch this out.
He's got his teammate Tim Ferry right behind him.
Ferry definitely been dialed in lately and putting in some great rides. Really shows that the Monster Energy Kawasaki team has got it together and they're producing great bikes for these guys. It's a real credit to their outfit and to the effort by all of the team members.
Looks like Andrew Short on the factory Honda sitting in third. Jeff, he's been battling back from injuries. To see him in third is a really great sign as to how well he's riding.
Yeah, well, that's what I was saying. He's a pretty good starter. He didn't get the whole shot, but he was right up there. Got Tedesco just behind him, and Michael Byrne and Reed buried back in 6th right now. Short has put on some great rides and gets a little stronger each and every week. So good to see him running up front.
We talked earlier about how good James Stewart has been at whaling these corners, these big berms here in Detroit.
Well, we'll take a look at it here. He decided to do something a little different right there and not do the final triple and do a single and cut in a little tighter. That's a new line. Now, as the track deteriorates here in the main event, might not be able to ride those wide lines like he did when the track was really good in the, back in the heat race. You can see right here coming across the start how hard and slick it is.
That's his mechanic, Jeremy Albrecht.
Supercross is dangerous for the mechanics too, because right there, all of the mechanics are lined up, leaning over the side, putting out the signal board, the pit board, giving their riders messages about the position or little things like that. Meanwhile, the guys are coming by throwing tons of roost in their face.
How tough is it for the rider to pick up the message when they come through there?
Well, it kind of depends on where your mechanic is positioned. And for James Stewart, obviously, he comes by in first. There's nobody in front of him. There's no roost coming up. So they get a lot of practice with that because you get the lap board every lap.
Let's go back and take a look at our Progressive Direct hole shot replay.
See right here, Stewart lined up a little further inside than what I would have liked to have been. But once again, he just sneaks by on the inside, blocks everybody off, and takes the Progressive Direct hole shot.
If you want to see this hole shot or many others from the 2007 season, make sure you visit holeshotheaven.com. You're only going to see James in there twice. He's had a lot of wins. He leads the championships, but only 2 hole shots this year. Here's a good battle for second. Andrew Short on the 29. Ivan Tedesco on the 9, and the Suzuki rider closing in, and Chad Reed coming in from behind them.
You just noticed there is number 9 Tedesco. I caught him as he was going off of that tabletop before the turn into whoops, actually upshifting the bike, probably to third or maybe even fourth, preparing for the whoops.
Again, this is a fight for third. Tim Ferry sitting in second. He's kind of all alone, about 3 seconds in front of this battle and 3 seconds behind his teammate, Stewart.
Look at all those rocks coming down, all those white spots on the soil. That's all rocks, and it's really difficult when you're trying to pass riders and you're getting out of the race line, which is typically up high on the berm. When you're trying to cut down, that's when you end up getting into those marbles, losing traction.
This is only the 3rd race of the season for Andrew Short. Here comes Reed getting around Tedesco. He'll move up to 4th, and he'll set sail after Short. Short's best finish of the year was at Dallas 2 weeks ago when he finished 5th. And here comes Kevin Windham also getting by Tedesco. Something wrong with Ivan, Jeff?
No, he just made a mistake in the turn before the whoops. When he got passed by Reed, messed up his rhythm there, so he took the inside. Like I said, when you try to take a line other than that fast racing line high up on the berm, there really just is no traction. A lot of rocks and loose dirt down there. Coming into the whoops, Ivan got sideways. Windham comes flying by with a lot of momentum.
Of course, Reed second in both championships.
He's looking pretty comfortable here tonight and moving up through these guys. You see him picking his way through those ruts there. He'll make the turn and upshift a couple gears. Looks like there's a line development where they don't really skim on top of the whoops, so they actually jump through them.
Reed is in danger of starting something he has not done so far this season, and that's finishing off the podium.
Well, he's had a pretty good run of podium finishes. He's moving through the pack, catching up to Andrew Short here. We'll see if Short can mount a good charge here with 12 laps to go. Keep Reed behind him. That would be quite a ride for Andrew at this point. Andrew, when I'm really sitting there watching him, the top of his turns, the mid-turn, he's really kind of pausing. He's not rolling through the turn with momentum. That's why Chad Reed and Windham, why they're setting faster lap times and they're catching them right now, because they're basically all doing the same obstacles. They're jumping the same distances, right? So where's the time made up? Right here, Andrew's kind of seed bouncing that, maybe going a little higher. Reed carrying a little more momentum through the middle of the turn. Over the jump.
When you talk about Andrew seat bouncing, what's he doing?
He's basically sitting down, going off of the jump. What that does is that compresses the rear suspension, makes the bike jump a little higher with a little less speed. So you want to stay, low, fast and low.
There comes Reed, block pass, takes over third.
Same move he put on Tedesco.
Back on the podium. Reed, a three-time winner, I should say, here in Detroit, and Kevin Windham gets around Short as well. That'll move him up to fourth.
That was a replay of what happened to Ivan Tedesco 2 laps before.
James Stewart won here last year. Can he make it 2 in a row in Detroit? Stay with us to find out. James Stewart trying to win his 5th AMP Mobile Supercross race in a row. Lapping Davey Millsaps, who looked very good early on tonight, but Millsaps having a tough time in the main. He's all the way back in 20th. Now the battle should be beginning for second place. Tim Ferry, Stewart's teammate, on the number 15. Monster Energy Kawasaki, there he is in second. He's been there since the gate drop. He's a little over 4.5 seconds behind Stewart. But about 4 seconds behind him comes a hard-charging Chad Reed.
And the thing to look at here is the battle between Ferry in second, Reed in third. They are about 4 seconds apart. But last lap, Ferry was a 48.3. Chad Reed was a 47.8. That's about half a second a lap that Reed's picking up on Ferry. We're only halfway through this thing.
A lot of laps left, and fatigue is such a huge part of Supercross racing. But let's face it, all three of the riders in the top 3, as Ferry has a big bobble, that'll cost him, are very, very good athletes when it comes to endurance training.
Oh, they can ride the full 20 laps as hard as they can. That's not the issue here. It's the mental fatigue, that knowing that a rider like Chad Reed, who's consistently finishing in front of you and consistently faster, is catching you, and that wears on you. So you really have to concentrate and focus on being smooth through your turns, not making any mistakes.
Let's show you what happened to Tim Ferry, because he almost lost the front end of this motorcycle.
See, this is over the finish line jump. Ferry gets on the gas, and when he jumps on the brakes, it's a little too much front brake. Hits that slick spot. Almost tucked it down there. That was a nice save.
Now Stewart has to deal with lap traffic. And I don't think we've seen James uncork the best. Whoa, like that right there. That could have been disastrous as he comes right on the backside of Jacob Marsack. Now trying to get to the inside and get rid of him, and he does.
And that's one of them things that you need to stay away from, and Marzak just cut out there. Stewart, pretty smart rider. He's done his share of lapping riders, so he knows to stay away from it.
Let's go show you what happened with Stewart getting around Marzak here.
Watch Marzak. He's in the middle of the track here. Stewart's just going to come down the right or the left side. Marzak cuts all the way out right in it. Luckily, James pulled up and let him go on by.
You see one rider pointing Stewart over. Knows he's coming. That's Keith Johnson on the 768 out of Albuquerque.
Well, these guys have a lot of respect for each other. They race hard week in, week out, but they know that certain riders are going to be coming by. James Stewart, most of the time, the number 7, is the guy coming by first.
Making his way past the 18 machine now. That's Brock Sellards.
And that's another one of them sections where Stewart just carries so much more momentum than the 18 of Brock Sellers. The whoops are kind of getting a little bit one line, and Stewart really tried to charge in there. Fortunately, he got the bike stopped before he ran into the back of 18.
There's Ferry. Boy, he has lost a lot of ground to Chad Reed. Reed within 2 seconds, right behind him now. Look at this. The battle is for second place.
Well, Ferry needs to stay in this. This would be a big victory for him to actually beat Chad in these 20 laps, take that second spot on the podium.
Ferry finished second earlier this year at San Diego's Qualcomm Stadium, but most of the time it's been 4th, 5ths, and 3rds, and Reed gets around him.
That same spot that Reed's made almost all of his passes on these top 5 guys. Look how it puts a little gap between them, so there's no chance for Ferry to retaliate because he blocked him. There's 2-3 bike links in front of him already.
He's just inside of 8 seconds behind Stewart with 5 to go. It's going to be pretty hard for him to reel him in as we look at the pass.
Yeah, and Ferry's going to be way out here on the outside. Chad just cuts across right on the top of the jump right there, blocks his momentum, and then Chad jumps from the tabletop over the single, gaps him a little bit in the second.
Chad Reed continuing to run along in second place. Hanging off those tough blocks right in front of the mechanics area. Looking over to his left, Jeff, checking out to see how far in front is James Stewart. He's about 8 seconds.
That he is. Stewart's about 3/10 of a second faster right now, and Stewart isn't taking, he's not putting down his best laps of the night. He's a nice, comfortable lead here. He's taking it easy, keeping it on 2 wheels.
Aaron, Davey Millsaps is really struggling tonight.
Well, guys, Davey Millsaps had to pull off the side of the track. In fact, he's already made his way back up to the pits, but I guess he had crashed on the backside of the track. Nobody really saw it happen, but he said he had hurt the 4 fingers on his right hand. He can barely even hold onto the bars, he said, and the grip's just too much for him to handle right now. Better luck to him next weekend in Seattle.
That's a race you'll see here on the CBS Sports Spectacular next weekend. James Stewart will try to lock up his championship there. And Chad Reed, the one thing as dominating as James Stewart has been, Chad Reed has been just as consistent and has kept himself on the podium each and every round and has kept this points chase going all the way down to the penultimate round.
Well, that he has, and there's a lot of desire and determination to, keep your head into it and not let the fact that you haven't won and week after week, second, third, second, it really wears on you. But Chad's a great champion that we have, and keeps trying hard, keeps trying to get a little better each and every week.
Jeremy Albrecht telling him, you're up 8 seconds, hang in there. This 4-race winning streak that James Stewart brought into Detroit is the longest he's had of his career. With the win at the last round at Dallas, he tied Hall of Famer Jeff Ward with the 6th most wins in AMA Supercross competition. Jason Thomas, we talked about him earlier in the night. Thomas right now running at 11th. Getting ready to take another paycheck home with him. And maybe he can catch Paul Carpenter might be able to pick up a top 10 finish.
Top 10 against the world's best Supercross riders. All the best guys are here, minus that Ricky Carmichael is retired from Supercross racing, and Thomas, man, he's a pretty good rider.
James Stewart licking off the laps, the final lap, looking to win his 5th Amped Mobile Supercross race in a row. And his 2nd in a row here at Ford Field in Detroit, Michigan.
He makes it look so easy, Ralph, you know, but it's all the work that he does during the week with the testing, with the team, with his dad and the training and all that. That's what makes it, there's a lot of work during the week, make it look easy here on the weekend.
And getting one step closer to retaining his Amped Mobile World Supercross GP crown and winning his first Amped Mobile AMA title. Jeremy Albrecht congratulates his rider as he wins another one here at Ford Field in Detroit. James Stewart with his 5th consecutive win in the 2007 season. What an amazing rider, continuing an incredible performance this year. We'll be back to talk to James Stewart. Welcome back to Ford Field here in Detroit, Michigan. The Amped Mobile Supercross Series wrapping up their show here at Ford Field, and James Stewart has won his 5th race in a row. Here's a look at our Suzuki results. Chad Reed keeps the title chase alive as the series moves on to Quest Field in Seattle next week. You'll see that right here on the CBS Sports Spectacular. Will the championship be wrapped up there? And Jason Thomas gets into the top 10. Picking up a healthy check for his efforts here in Michigan. Well, Aaron, for the 5th race in a row, you get to talk to James Stewart.
That's right, Ralph, and not only 5 consecutive wins, but his 2nd hole shot that he picked up so far this season. James, is it safe to say that you weren't pushing it 100% tonight?
You couldn't. You know, it was one of those tracks that I was super slippery, and I tried pushing it to be, and I was all over the track, so I had to calm down a little bit and just ride. The track was pretty fun tonight. It was kind of tricky, but I nailed that hole shot. That was my whole goal tonight. When I first saw the track, I knew I had to get a good start, and it worked out. I knew once I got a start, it was my race.
Now, strong possibility of wrapping up the championship in Seattle next weekend. Do you go into Seattle with a different mindset?
Well, it's 85% chance of rain, so right there it tells you something's going to happen, and you know, I just got to go out there and do my best. You know, hopefully it won't rain too bad, where we can try to wrap this thing up.
Congratulations on another victory.
Thank you.
James Stewart's going to try to wrap up his championships next week in Seattle, but the season won't be finished till Saturday night, May 5th, in Sam Boyd Stadium in Las Vegas. Here's a look at our Toyota Trucks Amped Mobile World Supercross GP point standings. James Stewart is 32 markers in front of Chad Reed. In the AMA title hunt, he's 38 points in front of the Australian rider. Let's head back down to Aaron.
Well, both Tim Ferry and Chad Reed rounding off the 2nd and 3rd place podium finishes. Tim, in your heat race, you had said that it was one of the best races of your life. You almost threw it away a couple of times out there. Was the track starting to deteriorate on you?
Definitely, the track was breaking away, and you know, there was a lot of rocks, so I had to be careful. And a couple lappers got in the mix there, and I think kind of hurt my momentum a little bit. And but it was a good race. I stayed close to James and made some improvement off of Dallas, and just like to thank the guys at Monster, Kawasaki, and O'Neill for putting together a good deal for me.
Chad Reed keeping Tim Ferry honest. Chad, your last win was in San Diego. From then, you've been on the podium consistently each and every weekend. But does it start to tear on you mentally not having a win?
Oh, you know, not so much mentally, just bums me out a little bit, you know. I know I got it in me to get another win, but man, I made it hard for myself tonight. Didn't get the best start, and it was a tough track to race and go fast and then pass. So. Man, I was just pushing forward, try to get one guy, and then go for it, get another guy. And man, I just want to thank all the guys at L&M and Sam and Wow, Yamaha, Thor, Parts, Bridgestone, Scott. Man, it's doing good. And you know, like I said, we got 2 more races, and love to get a win.
2 more races. They're both outdoor. Mother Nature could play a factor here.
Oh, that it could, Aaron, because that next race is going to be at beautiful Quest Field in Seattle, but there's no roof on that one. You can see that right here on CBS. Sunday, April 29th, noon Eastern time. And then the Las Vegas race, you can see that live from Sam Boyd Stadium. Check your local listings for that. And then CBS will be back with a year in review, the entire Supercross season, May 6th. You won't want to miss that. Here's our Toyota moving forward replay. Watch James Stewart on the number 7 almost get taken out of the lead by the 79 of Jacob Marsack. But he survives that harrowing moment in our Toyota moving forward replay. CBS Sports coverage of the Amps Mobile AMA Supercross Series continues next Sunday as the series heads to Seattle. Catch the action at noon Eastern. For Jeff Emig and Aaron Bates, I'm Ralph Shaheen. So long from Detroit, where James Stewart is your winner.
Nothing